Hello, and welcome to Justice Losers, the most unqualified podcast exploring irrelevant questions about entertainment, namely movies, TVs, and comics. I'm your host, Preston, joined as always by my delightful and head-shaking co-host,
Batman.
What was that all about?
I'm trying to get myself ramped up here, man. That's the only way I could think of.
What should people do? And don't forget the thing that you've been forgetting for months.
Like, subscribe, tell a friend, and go to remproductions.net. Buy a poster.
Matt!
Preston!
What you been up to?
I've been reading some short stories by a fellow named Thomas Ligotti. He's from Detroit.
Oh.
He's got a very nice, fancy Italian name, but no, he's from Detroit.
What kind of stuff is he write?
Horror.
Oh, good.
Cosmic horror.
Oh. Any stuff that's worth being translated into Love, Death, and Robots?
Sort of different species. He tends to be more antiquated.
Gotcha.
He's, I think, still alive and fairly young, actually.
Oh, okay. It's fairly young, 70.
Like he's not going to drop dead in the next 5 years, probably. Okay. So I've been reading this book for 6 months.
Okay.
And I wouldn't mention it because it was kind of a slog to get through. So the book I'm reading is it actually is
collection.
Two collections of short stories put into each other.
So it's a collection.
It's a collection of two collections. Yeah, so I finished the first collection probably a week and a half ago, and there were a couple that I liked. He has a really interesting take on vampires in one of them.
Oh.
And
are they sex related at all?
Not particularly.
Look at him breaking the connection to sex with vampires.
Yeah, no, he's...
Go check out our vampire episode. We did a whole ass episode on vampires and what makes them unique.
Yeah. So, he writes with a super formal, he likes to use big words and long sentences. And
like you.
More than me. He writes in such a way that it's an affectation, just to throw a big fancy word in my long sentence here.
What's a big word for proving someone's point?
And the entire first collection, I felt like it was uncomfortable and a little bit clunky to read.
Mm-hmm.
In the second collection, I think I've read, they're longer stories in this one, and I think I've read 3 of them so far, and I am loving them. It's such a bizarre instant switch.
Are they were the stories written roughly around the same times of the collection? So was the first collection around the same era of his writing, and then the second collection is around a different era?
The first collection, Songs of a Dead Dreamer, was published in 1985. It was his first published collection. The second collection, Grim Scribe, was published in 1991. It's his second collection. So yeah, I don't exactly know, but it seems like he came into his own a little bit. He figured out what his voice was, and one way he does that really effectively is he's come up with a good way of using framing devices. So one of them is written as a diary entry instead of just a straightforward, I went to the place. And so it kind of makes sense that it's the guy. One of them's a researcher documenting an event. Mm-hmm. And so it makes sense that it's kind of this high-minded academic sort of thing. One of them's a letter to a friend, which the framing device itself ends up playing a fun little twist at the end.
Huh.
But, and it
the guy who wrote the letter is dead and was dead from the beginning and could not have written the letter.
No, that's not it.
Oh, okay.
It's scarier than that.
Oh.
Like I said, it's horror.
Yeah.
And it's fun cosmic horror where he's just yeah, everything is evil. The entire universe is just premised on evil, and if you cut everything down to its atomic level, it's evil. That's one of the stories. Yeah, he likes mysteries. He's got a very creative mind, and now that he figured out how to write, I'm really loving the back half here. So yeah, wanted to recommend that.
Cool. It's the second book.
The second collection, Grim Scribe.
Grim Scribe?
All one word. Grim Scribe.
Grim Scribe.
Grim Scribe.
Grim Scribe.
Thomas Ligotti.
Thomas Ligotti.
It's good if you like horror. If you're not into literary horror and you don't like reading big highfalutin words, skip it.
So I mentioned last week how I am now getting to the point in the New 52 where DC was starting to understand that maybe having so many lines going at the exact same time isn't beneficial because you're just trying to fill in the gaps with subpar writing, and so things are just getting really good. An example of that was reading what was the one I just finished? I read last week. It got really good. Oh, Catwoman got really good at volume 6.
Once they kicked Ann Nesenti off.
Yeah. Then Detective Comics were good until volume 6, where they were very good. And so I read the first volume of Grayson, which is, so Nightwing was around for a little bit. And then a big old bad version of the Justice League from a different universe pops on over to our universe and kills him on TV. And also unmasks him.
What fun!
Plot twist: he's not actually dead because no one stays dead in comics. But because he got unmasked and publicly, quote unquote, killed, everyone does think he's dead and also knows that Dick Grayson is Nightwing. And so what happens is Bruce Wayne's the only one who knows that he's not dead. Him, and also this secret spy organization called Spiral. And so what they do...
Is this a new thing?
Huh?
Is this a new thing?
It's a pretty new thing, yeah.
Seems like every
there's always
there's a new secret organization that's deeper and been pulling the strings behind the other one. Where does it stop?
Never.
It stops with Batman.
Yeah, he's the one that controls it all. It's actually kind of cool. It's a bit espionage-y, which is, in my current state,
this is absolutely
right up my alley. So Spiral is a secret organization that's dedicated to unmasking heroes, and Batman wants to know what they know, and so he sends Dick to go do things that would get the attention of Spiral, that Spiral would recruit him, so they don't know that Batman sent him, and he's kind of like gathering information for him. The biggest problem I have with it is, one, it's just the next biggest like espionage group that's under the fabric of the world and whatever.
Sure.
But also they mess with characters a little bit with a character. Huntress, otherwise known as Helena Bertinelli. There are 3 versions of her in the New 52.
Oh.
There's the version of her that came from Earth 2 and was Robin in Earth 2 and came and couldn't be Robin because Robin existed, so she became Helena Bertinelli and Huntress. And then there's the mini-series of Huntress, which is just an entirely different Helena Bertinelli.
Sure.
Who is the Huntress. And then now there's this Helena Bertinelli, who's the different one because she's literally a different ethnicity.
Cool.
So unless she, I don't know, got really tan between the miniseries and Grayson, it's a different Helena Bertinelli. So I was like,
you know how you can tell? Which one's too tall?
Is that a
Birds of Prey? Mary Elizabeth Winstead's like 6 inches taller than everyone else. Yeah. It just looks a little off.
Yep, that is the thing that happened. So that's a little bit of an issue I had, like when it was like, oh, you're Helena Bertinelli, cool. Another one. There are 3 Helena Bertinellis.
That's what it is. It's not that there's a secret organization at the bottom. It's that at the bottom, everyone is a Helena Bertinelli.
Seems like
it's
it
just
a
hive mind.
But otherwise, it's really good. I enjoy it. It's you get to explore the tagline.
Hive mind. Her initials are HB, like honey bee. Hive, honey bee.
They do encounter Hive, vaguely.
Oh.
Which is an organization, and if you saw the Teen Titans animated show, Hive is it's an organization. So many organizations.
They're all Helena Bertinellis.
No, it's really fun. The tagline on the back of the book is, "You may know Nightwing, but you don't know Dick." I'm like, yep, that's good. That needed to happen.
Yep.
But it is a really interesting exploration of Dick Grayson outside of being Nightwing. Kind of him. It's more of him coming into his own because he's done that before being Nightwing.
Kind of feels like his story is just one long, elongated coming into his own.
Yeah, but I think that's like he's one of the characters that kind of needs to do that because his entire character is him growing up and changing who he is and stuff like that. So I guess not really coming into his own. He's definitely come into his own, more strengthening another aspect of himself.
Okay.
That's what I'll go with. It's good. I like it. You don't need to have read all of Nightwing before to read Grayson.
That's a refreshing relief right there.
Yeah. They pretty much just like slam the backstory into your face in the first 2 pages and then they move on. News. What's happened this week or past 2 weeks? Anything interesting?
Dune.
We got a Dune trailer.
We got a Dune trailer.
Hype is back. Hype is back. Muad'Dib, I'm so ready for this movie. Oh my god. It's okay. I will say this trailer was not as good.
Definitely not.
Oh my god, the first one. I went back and watched the first one.
Second trailers are never as good.
Yeah, it's less just like, oh yes, and it's more of just like, oh yeah, so here's the plot.
Let's explain this movie to people who don't know what's going on and for some reason won't go see the movie if they don't know what's going on. I guess that's probably a decent demographic right there.
What, people who don't go see a movie because they don't know what's going on?
Yeah.
I feel, well, that's true.
There's a lot of casual people that just
don't understand.
I don't know what this is about, so I don't care enough to put the effort and money to go watch it.
I bet the star power will draw some of them. It's like, wow, this is a movie with a lot of people I recognize. I might want to go see it. So we'll see how that goes. Also, powerful influencers like us can help spread the word to get more people to go.
Go see Dune.
Go see Dune when it's out.
It's going to lose $180 million, I bet.
Oh,
but if we get all of our listeners to go see it,
it'll lose
$180 million.
Minus about 20. Yeah, nothing really. I mean, well, also to be fair, I know how Dune goes, so there's nothing new in this to me. We get a better look at Baron Harkonnen.
Baron Vladimir Harkonnen.
Yep.
Floating around.
Big old fat guy floating on a, I guess, really tall floating chair.
Yeah.
I was expecting it like
not how I pictured that.
Not how I pictured that at all. Looks very oily.
Yeah, that's probably appropriate.
Ready for oily
Stellan Skarsgård. Yep. Yeah, very good. Speaking of Javier Bardem, we get him just a little tiny bit.
Oh, we also get every single name dropped. That was something I noticed. They explain every single character's name.
Yep.
Duncan. Gurney. Yep. Paul. We get Duke. Yep.
Leto.
Yep. But no, I mean, the fact it's honestly the trailer didn't get me much hype. Just the fact that the trailer was released got me immediately hyped again.
We are
returning to Dune hype.
Absolutely.
Dune. If you don't know what Dune is, you should check out Dune. It's a good Dune. If you have a chance to read a book really quickly in the next month or so, read Dune. It is like one of the best sci-fi books written of all time.
3 months.
3 months.
It's like late October.
Oh yeah, it's true. You got time. It's one of the best. Kind of one of the defining sci-fi books of all time.
Yeah.
It came out after Star Wars, though, didn't it?
No.
Didn't come out. I thought it was like 80. Oh no, the movie came out in 81.
Like 80 something.
Yeah, this was probably
84.
more like 60s, maybe.
I'm gonna guess 1970.
1970.
65.
So it's for people who don't know what Dune is like. Basically, imagine like Star Wars sci-fi, but with Game of Thrones plot.
Yep.
It's good.
Yeah. The world building is really well done.
Yep.
It's
kind of so I'm really getting into these people who like defined literary genres.
Mm-hmm.
So basically he kind of defined or perfected literary as in written sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Lacar defined
One of the guys.
Yeah. Lacar is the guy that defined literary espionage.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Sanderson is one of the guys who defined literary fantasy. He wrote the 3 Rules of Magic.
Tolkien takes offense at that.
Magic, like primarily, I think. So I said one of the guys, but also Tolkien. Yeah.
Everyone else is just a.
Yeah. Anyway, if you like sci-fi and don't mind reading, very well done in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exciting.
I'm a little concerned in the movie about the one-liners.
Oh, yeah.
Smile, Gurney. I'm smiling. Sure. I mean, it does feel like it's dumbing it down a little bit in a sense.
But Denis Villeneuve doesn't do one-liners. Like he
did too in that trailer.
Oh, in that trailer, yeah. So like what I'm probably thinking happened is like they're like, oh, we got to prove to people that this is going to be a fun movie like the Marvel movies that's just chock full of one-liners. Mm-hmm. And then, but in reality, we're going to get a Denis Villeneuve movie where, I mean, there's a couple one-liners, yes, but like, I mean, 2049 didn't have one-liners, Arrival didn't have one-liners, like, he's not a one-liners kind of guy. No. He's I'm going to tell you this really cool, like, epic story, and you're going to love it, and you're going to worship me for who I am, and also I'm going to, like, pay $1 trillion for my cast. Oh, my God.
Yep.
So, I think the one-liners we saw in the trailer are probably going to be most, if not all, of the one-liners.
Yeah.
So I'm not that worried about it. I trust Villeneuve. Hey, guys, Preston here. We can only fit about 15 to 20 minutes of this episode on video, so if you want to listen to any more what you've been up to's or news things that we talked about, you can listen to the full audio version. You can find it on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and any other app that you listen to podcasts on. Thanks for watching!